Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how to perform simple CRUD operation, that is create, read, update and delete operation in MySQL using PHP, HTML, CSS or Bootstrap. So let's start. First, we are going to read it. R in CRUD stands for read. As you can see, we can read this website, the content of this site. So this is the read operation. The displaying of the data is simply the read operation. Then C in CRUD stands for create. By clicking on this add new button, we can create a new member by giving the name, email and phone number, cancelling it. And then the U in CRUD stands for update. So here the edit button will do the update. So on clicking a particular edit of a particular row, then we can change the column values and submit it. Okay, so I'm not doing it right now. And by clicking on delete, we can delete a particular row. As you can see, the last row I am deleting, that is XAMPP. So if I click on delete button, the last row gets deleted. And yes, this is the delete operation. So create, read, update and delete operation today we will perform in MySQL using PHP. For that you have to install XAMPP server. So in XAMPP server we will host our website. So I am opening the XAMPP control panel. As you can see, this is the XAMPP control panel and I have already started the Apache server and MySQL. So as you can see, let me mention one thing, that I have changed the port of MySQL from 3306 to 3307 because I was having some problem. I will give the problem link in the description. If you are also facing the same problem, you can refer to that video. And if you are first time using XAMPP, then you can go to the link in the description to know how to install XAMPP and how to connect MySQL and PHP if you have not seen it before. So yeah, you will get the base then. Now let's start. I have started my Apache and MySQL module in XAMPP, so I am going to open the localhost PHP myadmin page. And here I am going to create a new database. So on the left side, you can see I have an option new. On clicking new, if I click on the database name, and I will give a random XYZ database name. You can give a database name as your choice and click on create. Since I have already a database name CRUD, so I will be using that. I am not creating a new one. So I am clicking on my old database CRUD. You will click on your new database which you will create, and this is my database. On the top I have this option SQL. Here I will give the SQL query to create my table in which I will store the rows, and the columns which my table will have will be ID, name, email, phone number, joining date. Okay, so I am going to give the query for creating the table. So I already had the query previously, so I am just copy pasting it. So this is how you create a table. Create table CRUD1. I am giving the name of the table as CRUD1. Then I will have columns ID, name, email, phone number, join date. The type of ID will be int and the constraints will be not null. Primary key, this ID will be the primary key and it will increment automatically, so the constraint auto increment. Okay, then the name, the type of the name will be varchar and size will be 100 and it cannot be null, so the constraint not null. Similarly, email cannot be null, so the constraint not null, and it should be unique, so the constraint unique. And phone number, again it cannot be null and it should be unique. Then join date, the type of join date will be date because it will automatically give the date whenever we will create a new member, and it cannot be null, it will be by default, so the default constraint. And then current date means it will give the current date. Okay, so now this will be our query for creating a table, and I will click on go to create the table. There is one error, CRUD1 already exists. Okay, so I have to change the name of the table to CRUD2. Okay, no, CRUD2. I am giving the table name as CRUD2 because I already had a table of similar name, and clicking on go we will create the table. And yeah, MySQL returned an empty result set, means it has created a table successfully. So now it's time to enter the first set of values, to insert the first set of values to this table. I am getting the previous query by clicking on get auto saved query. And now I will enter a set of values to this table. Insert into CRUD2, and the columns in which I am going to enter values are name, email, phone. Only these 3 columns I will enter the values. The rest it will means the ID it will increment automatically, and the joined it will give automatically, so I don't have to explicitly mention it. So insert into CRUD2 name, email, phone number, and then values. The values which I am going to give is, the first one is my name, Rijusri Guho, then a random email, riju100@gmail.com, then a random number. Okay, and that's it. This will be good to go. And yeah, one row inserted. I can insert another row. Okay, this error is coming again and again. I will fix it later. For now, we can go with this error, doesn't matter. So I am going to insert another row in which I am going to give the name as suppose Remo D, and then the email will be Remo, and number I will change a little bit, like 489, like this. Yes, this will also be good to go, and I will comment out the previous one, because at a time we can execute a single query only by clicking on go. So yeah, 2 rows inserted. Now, so what we have done till now, we have created a table and inserted 2 rows. So now we are going to create the front end. For that, we are going to go to C drive, and then in C drive, inside the XAMPP folder, inside htdocs folder, I am going to create a new folder. Let me give a random name as CRUD 100. I am giving the name CRUD 100, and inside this folder, I am going to open this folder with VS Code. So VS Code has opened. Now I am going to create a connection between PHP and MySQL. For that, I am going to create a new PHP file named connection.php. In this file, I am going to show how to create a connection between PHP and MySQL. So the code is I have pasted, and this is the code. I have shown this procedure in my previous video. I have given the link in the description. You can refer to that video for detailed description. So I am describing in short. This is the server name, localhost. Localhost is a server in which we are going to host our website, and the username is root in XAMPP. The password I have given blank, because in my case, while installing XAMPP, the password was none, and database name is CRUD, because as you can see, let me check the database name once. The database I have created is CRUD. You will give the name you have created your database with, and then I am creating a connection. I am storing the connection object in variable con, and this is how you can create connection new MySQLi, and inside it you have to give the server name, username, password, database name, and I have given 3307 because I have changed the port number from 3306 to 3307. If you have not changed, you don't have to give this part explicitly. And then if there is error, as you can see, if con tends to connect error, then give a message connection failed and the appropriate error message. Okay, and if it's not, then this if block will not be executed, and then echo nothing. So for now we can give a message as successful connection to test it for now. As you can see, this is how we can create a connection. Now go to the browser, type localhost, then the name of the folder inside the htdocs folder. In my case it was CRUD 100, and then the PHP file connection.php, and as you can see, it's showing connection successful. So our connection is created successfully. For now I am removing the successful message because I don't want to show any message if it is successful. If it is failing, then only show the error message, otherwise not. Now to create the front end, I will create a new file called index.html, index.php, sorry. And inside this index.php file, I will give the Bootstrap template. So I am using Bootstrap, I will not be using CSS. So I am using Bootstrap, and you can go to the Bootstrap official website as I am going, and from here you can get the starter template of the Bootstrap. I'm copying the starter template and I'm pasting it here, deleting the excess comments, not needed. So now let us see the output of this starter template. So this is hello world. Now I'm going to add a navbar on the top. So instead of this hello world, I'm going to paste the navbar code. So this is the navbar. As you can see, this is the navbar in which we have the title PHP CRUD operation, then we have the home, and then add new. If I click on add new, it will redirect us to the add member page, which we have not created yet. And this is the home page. If I click on home, then it will redirect me to this home page where it will display a list of members. You can get this navbar in the Bootstrap 5 official website by just searching navbar, and this is a starter template of navbar. You can copy, paste and edit it a little bit to make it like this. Then now it's time to make a table, to create a table in this way, in which we will have the 6 columns and this rows. So for that I am going to Bootstrap 5 website and I am searching table. So this is the code for the table. I am copying it and I am pasting it here. I am deleting the second and third row and only keeping the first row. Let's see the output. This is my output. So now I am going to change the column headings, deleting all the scope. The first column heading will be ID, then the name, then email, then phone number, then we will have a joining date, then another column I will have for actions, that is edit and delete actions. That is it. And there will be 5 different columns in the first row also. So let me create more columns. That's it. So let me check the output. The output, we have the columns ID, name, email, phone number, join date, action. Now our task is to retrieve the data from the database we have created already, in which I have inserted 2 rows, to retrieve those rows in the front end. Now for retrieving the rows from the database, we have to write our PHP code. So beside under the tbody tag, above the tr tag, our PHP code will start. At first I will wrap the first row inside PHP tag, as you can see. Then I will connect to the database. So include connection.php. So I am connecting to the database. Now I am storing the SQL query to select all the rows from the database in variable $SQL. So my table is CRUD2, so select star from CRUD2 is the SQL query, and I am storing this query inside the variable $SQL. Now I am taking a variable result in which I am going to run this query using $con query $SQL. Now if our result is not valid, like if there is an error in the result, then I will show a message invalid query using the die function. If not, I am going to iterate through all the rows of this query, okay, of this table. So I am fetching the table I am fetching all the rows using this select star from CRUD2 query, and then I am fetching each row from the table. So I am using a while loop. $row is equal to $result fetch assoc, and I am wrapping the first row, that is the tr tags, inside the while loop. Then I am going to fetch the row ID, and similarly, as you can see, I have fetched the row ID, row name, row email, phone number and joining date, and I have added the two buttons, that is the edit and delete button. So I am using the Bootstrap class btn success to have a green color on the edit button and the danger to have a red color on the delete button, and I am wrapping it inside the td tag for a particular column of this particular row, and I am wrapping the whole thing in echo, because in PHP we have to give the HTML code in echo. And yeah, that is it. I am saving it, and now let's see the output. So my table rows are retrieved from the database. Now as you can see, this table is looking a little bit odd because it's starting right from the beginning, and I want it to be in the middle with a bit of padding on the top and sides. So I am going to wrap it inside container using the Bootstrap container. So I am wrapping the table inside Bootstrap container. Okay, so as you can see, wrap the whole table inside Bootstrap container, where my4 means margin on the y is equal to 4 pixels. So I'm saving it, and I'm seeing the output. As you can see, the table has come in the middle, and this is our display page in which I am going to display the rows of the table or the members I have already added. Now it's our turn to create the update operation, that is the edit and delete, and also to add new member to this table. So we are done with this index.php file. So now it's turn to create a new file named edit.php and also delete.php. Okay, so before this edit and delete logic, let us create the create file through which we can create a new member or add a new member. So let me add it like create.php, and in this file create.php I am going to first do the coding for creating the page of the create page. So I'm pasting the code for creating a new member, and then I'm explaining it. So this is, at first you need to copy paste the Bootstrap starter template from the Bootstrap official website to include all the scripts and all. Then I have included the nav bar from Bootstrap, as you can see on the top, as usual, the nav bar which I had included in the index.php file also. Then I have used Bootstrap cards. I am using a form where the method is post, and then I am using Bootstrap card, in which the card header I am giving text white property to have a white heading create new member, and then I have three fields: name, email and phone number, the label name, email and phone number, and the input fields where the type is text, and the name class form control. So these are the three fields in which I will enter the details to add a new member, and then I have a button called submit to submit the member. The name of this button is submit. This name I will use when dealing with the PHP code to submit the or to insert the new member to the table. So be careful with the name you give to this button. And also this cancel button. In cancel button I have given the reference to index.php. like if you click on cancel while creating this new member, it will redirect to the index.php page and it will cancel adding the new member. Okay, so now let us save this code and refresh this. And yes, I have given the code link in the description, so you can directly get the code link from the description. So now I have refreshed, and if I click on add new, my create new member page appears. This is a form in which if I enter something and if I click on submit, this new member will be added to the table. But right now I have not connected it to the backend, or I have not given the logic in the PHP code to insert this member. So now I have to do that. I'm going back to my create.php file, and here I am adding a PHP tag at the beginning. So inside this PHP tag, I am going to include the connection file, because at first we need to connect. So after including the connection, I am going to check that if I click on the submit button, then only this function will be triggered. So if is set dollar post submit, then only I will retrieve the name, email and phone number. As you can see in this code, I am retrieving the name in $name. Using the post method, I am retrieving the value of the name, and using the post method, I am retrieving the email value and the phone number value likewise. And this is the query in $Q. I am storing the query. The query to insert the name, email and phone number is insert into CRUD2. The table name will be CRUD2, and the columns in which I will insert the values will be name, email and phone number, and then values. Inside values I am going to include the link, include the variables in which the values are stored. So $name, $email, $phone, and then I am going to execute this query. So $con is the connection variable and $q is the query in which I have written the query for inserting the variables. So I'm saving it, and let's see the output. So I'm refreshing it, and now if I add the values, let's see whether it gets added in the table actually or not. So I am including a name. Let me give the name XYZ, and then xyz@gmail.com is the email, and let me give a random password, phone number, and I'm clicking on submit. And if I go back to home, a new row is added. Yes, so our create operation is done. So our operation from CRUD, that is create and read operation, is done. So what left is update operation and delete operation. So if I click on this edit option, so our update operation will be done, and if I click on this delete option, our delete operation will be performed. At first I am going to give the PHP tags. Inside it I am going to include the connection.php file, and then if is set $get id, so we are going to retrieve the id using the get method, because we already got the we already got the id from the index.php file. The index.php file has sent the id number to the delete.php file. So since we are retrieving the value of id, we are going to use the get method. And remember, if we want to send something to the server, then we have to use the post method, as in case of the create.php file, where we send the values of the member details. So we used post method in that time, but here we will use get method to retrieve the id. And if it said $get id, then id equals to $get id. Then $SQL delete from CRUD2 is our table name, where id will be this particular id. And then using the connection variable, we are executing this query. If this query gets executed successfully, we will go to the index.php page. So our table name is CRUD100. So the location in which it will redirect us will be location:/CRUD100 and index.php. So this will be the URL on top of the browser in which it will redirect us once the delete operation gets completed. So I am saving this file. So I am going to this page, index.php. So at first I will add a new member so that I can delete it and I can show you the process. So I am adding a member named David, and email will be david@gmail.com. phone number will be some random number, and I am submitting. Let me add another thing, another name Ria@gmail.com. Submit, and I'm adding, okay, no more add. I'm going back to home, and then if I want to delete the last column with row id 6, so I am clicking on the delete button, and yes, it gets deleted. So our delete operation is successful as of now. Let's create our edit.php file. For that, I am going to copy the create.php file content, because the form will be very similar in edit.php file. Now I am going to add the label id, which will be hidden, because I am going to get, using the get method, the id from the index.php file, and that particular id row we will delete, we will edit here. Okay, so I am hiding this particular form label, that is the id, using the type hidden, and the value will be php echo id. So using this value php echo id, I am going to retrieve the id value. Similarly, in name, email and phone number also, I am going to retrieve the value using this php echo name, email or phone number. So I am doing that right now. Well, let me copy this from here. So I have given the value, I have stored the value inside this value attribute of this 4 columns, and now I am going to write my PHP code. I am opening the PHP tag, closing the tag. Inside it, I am including the connection. At first, I am going to initialize all the variables to empty spaces. Okay, so $id will be empty quotes, $name will also be empty quote, $email, $phone. Now what this code means, it means that if we get the value from the form, at first we will click on the edit button, and on clicking on the edit button, the edit.php will retrieve the value of the id, and using the id it will also retrieve the value of the columns, rest of the columns, using the get method. And if this particular id does not exist, it will redirect us to the index.php page, else this if block will not be executed and $id will be get id, we will get the particular id, and then we will store the query select star from CRUD to the table name is CRUD2, where id will be this particular id, and the result will be this. Then we are going to fetch this row and show it on the name, email and phone number fields. This will be for the get method. Else, if we change the form fields, then those form field values will be sent to the server using the post method, right? So else id equals to $post id, name is equal to $post name, and email and phone number. So we are retrieving the posted values using the $post method. Now this is our SQL query where we will update the table CRUD2, where we will set name equals to $name, email equals to $email, phone number equals to $phone number, where id will be the particular id sent using the post method, and then we will execute the query using the $result method. I am saving this. Else id equals to $post id, name is equal to $post name, and email and phone number. So we are retrieving the posted values using the $post method. Now this is our SQL query where we will update the table CRUD2, where we will set name equals to $name, email equals to $email, phone number equals to $phone number, where id will be the particular id sent using the post method, and then we will execute the query using the $result method. I am saving this. Let's see the output in the browser, whether it's running properly or not. Now I am clicking the edit button and it is showing not found. Why? There must be some problem. As we can see in the URL, it is showing update.php, but our file name is edit.php. So there is a problem in the index.php file. Yeah, this will be edit.php, and also let me check this edit.php file. Okay, so our location is, we are in the folder CRUD 100. So let me update this location, CRUD 100. So yeah, now let's check it. I'm refreshing the browser, and yeah, I have saved, and I'm clicking on the edit button, and yes, this is the update member page. Okay, so as I have clicked on the edit button of the third row, which had name david.gmail.com email and this phone number, so all this information it has retrieved from the get method. So we are using this get method to get the already submitted data, but if we change this, then we will use the post method to send it to the server. So I am changing the David email to david100@gmail.com, and I am submitting it. Okay, and then I am going to the home and refreshing it, but it has not changed. Why? Let me check it now. Because my table name is wrong. In my update operation, my table name should be CRUD2. So I am saving it, and I am again refreshing the browser, clicking on edit. I am changing David to david100@gmail.com, and I am clicking on submit. I am going to home, and yes, it has changed from David to david100@gmail.com. So this is how we perform the edit operation in PHP and MySQL. So now I would like to change this add new mark into a button. So to convert it into a button, I will go to the index.php file. In the nav bar, we have a link add new. So we are going to give the type as button and class as btn nav link. btn primary. I'm going to give, let me see whether it is working or not, so that it looks a little bit different. And yeah, it is working, but one thing, this link is not active, so let me make it active. Okay, so yeah, now this button is active and it is looking cool. Let me add a few more members to this list. I am adding Rohan, as rohan@gmail.com, and phone number is something random, and then I am clicking on submit, and I'm clicking on home, and yes, all these rows are added. So let me enlarge it a bit so that you can see it properly. And this is our final website. This is our front end in which I have displayed all the rows till now. If I click on add, I can add new member. If I click on home, I can go back to the index.html page. If I click on edit, I can update the member. I can change Rohan from rohan@gmail.com to rohan123@gmail.com, and then I can click on submit and again click on home to go back to the index.html page or index.php page. So yeah, that was all I wanted to show you today. If you like my video, please share my video to your friends and classmates, whoever needs it, and subscribe to my channel because subscription is very important for me right now. And comment down your doubts below. Comment down what kind of videos you want. I will try to do that. And yeah, hit the notification icon so that you never miss any update. And thanks for watching my video. Have a nice day.